Canada is absolutely furious at the Trump regime, and Canada showing how you continue to checkmate Donald Trump. So here's what Canada did. So they're like, okay, we'll take away that commercial that uses Ronald Reagan's words, but we're going to launch a new campaign. And the new campaign and the new commercials we're going to put out will have Prime Minister Carney as the narrator, and the Prime Minister of Canada will talk about how Canada's moving away from doing trade with the United States and looking to the rest of the world. So do you prefer this commercial, Donald? So Prime Minister Carney's like, okay, sorry, Donald, you don't want us to use the words of Ronald Reagan. Got it. We won't use the words of Ronald Reagan. We'll use the words of Canadian. Roll tape. Here's what Prime Minister Carney now is doing as their new ad campaign. Play this clip.
It's our country. It's your future. And we are going to give it back to you. For decades, Canada's economy became more closely linked to the United States. The U.S. is the world's largest economy, so on the one hand, that created tons of new business and jobs for us. But it also meant that when things change suddenly for the worse down there, it causes big problems up here, and it's hard to control what happens next. As Prime Minister, my number one focus is to put Canadians back in control by building here at home and building new partnerships.
And then the ad goes on to say it's Canada strong, and they're going to focus on buying from Canada. Sure, the United States is going to be involved a little bit in trade, but they're looking to the rest of the world. Here, watch this.
We'll be our own best customer, and we're going to sell to the world. Yes, we'll keep trading with the US, but we will double what we export to everywhere else. We'll make generational investments to protect our communities, our borders, our way of life. Investments to build a stronger economy where everyone has a chance to get ahead. And investments to empower Canadians with new opportunities, better careers, and a lower cost of living. It's time to take control of our future, bet big on ourselves, and play to win. It's time to build Canada strong.
Now I want to show you a clip right here from a Canadian comedian, and this clip right here could not be more pertinent to the situation, predicting exactly what was going to happen in 2016. In 2016, he's a legend in Canada. His name is Ron James, and this clip is now going viral once again. Let me play this clip for you right now.
Trump didn't create the chaos created him. He's a poison parody grown from the rage of the betrayed. Because for the past 30 years, the American working class have watched their jobs disappear into a gossamer thin ether to third world non-union assembly line grunts who labor 14 hours a day weaving tube socks and sweatshops for the kind of coin an Iron Age chicken plucker wouldn't suffer. Meanwhile, the rapacious carnivores of the 1% ruling Wall Street have been busy looting everything from retirement funds to lemonade stands, willfully masticating the hopes of the disappearing middle class in an unchecked, unpunished, greedy, free-for-all neoliberal circle jerk where the top gets the meat and the bottom gets the bone.
And here's what comedian Ron James had to say about the Republican Party. Let's play this clip right here.
Because the GOP's become a party where hate drives debate and billionaire brutes pied pipe the white middle-aged seething masses into states of delirium, promising to rain down biblical retribution on whatever other besides themselves they can find to blame on America's woes, all the while cherry-picking quotes from Leviticus to justify their homophobic, Mexican-baiting, Muslim-hating, gun-loving bigotry and anger as they defiantly march backwards to the foggy mists of time to the wrong side of history, looking to make America great again, whenever the hell that was.
I want to bring in that legendary Canadian stand-up comedian who you saw in those clips right there, Ron James. Those clips right there were for a 2016 special for an event called True North, but they couldn't be any truer today because it basically foreshadowed what was to come. And in fact, in many ways today, it is much, much worse than what was taking place in 2016. Ron, you're out with a new stand-up show on November 28th. It's called The View From Here. We'll talk about that as well. But I want to get into that stand-up special from 2016. You've always been touring Canada, known commodity out there, and you've been calling out what you saw happening. And now, as we're doing this interview, end of October 2025, Donald Trump saying he's imposing 10% new tariffs because Premier Ford ran an ad that used Ronald Reagan's voice, but it's really any excuse, right? Trump says he's going to impose additional tariffs because Canada was going to recognize Free Palestine, or because Canada's doing, he's looking for an excuse no matter what. So frame where we are kind of right now as you see it, as Trump continues to use that 51st state rhetoric, because he means it. He wants to take over Canada. It seems obvious to me.
Well, it's his megalomaniacal and messianic march of manifest destiny, which has been encoded, with all due respect, into the DNA. And it's this notion of twisted notion from a Canadian's perspective of exceptionalism, and that we'd be far better off if we joined America. And we have no shortage of quislings in our country. I mean, the day after that, zirconium crowned king was placed in Washington, the Premier of Alberta, Danielle Smith, with a meeting orchestrated by Kevin O'Leary, so prostrate at the altar of Mammon, he'd sell coal to the devil if it meant fattening his wallet. They were down there, stroking the lizard of Mar-a-Lago. There's been a handful of Canadians who've endorsed it, but for the most part, our country has never been more galvanized. We've got this patriotic mojo that would show itself from time to time at the Olympics when we kicked ass in the hockey and other sports. But of course, this is unique to us because we're not really. We weren't flag wavers in your sense. I mean, America, fun country, man. You guys would throw a parade just because it was Tuesday. I mean, you're the guys who invented the happiest place on earth, Disneyland. And we always loved going to the States. I'm feeling sorry for the snowbirds now. I mean, half of Quebec winters in Florida. So, they're going to have to stay home or, buy themselves some toques and mitts for a while. But they've never been this pro-Canadian. And it's remarkable to see.
And one of the incredible things to see in Canada is where you have, a conservative premier of Ontario who's someone on most issues. You probably disagree with a lot of issues there. But when it comes to the issue of standing up to the United States, he can stand shoulder to shoulder with the Prime Minister Carney of the Liberal Party, who could stand shoulder to shoulder with the leader of Meidas Canada, Charlie Angus, a leader within the NDP. And to have that, other than your Danielle Smith, what was going on there, and there certainly seemed to be a growing movement of the Quislings and the MAGA Maple. It does seem now that's still there, but to your point, there does seem to be the view from here when you're seeing what's going on in the United States and you're being asked, do we want that here? Is that what we want here? I
Absolutely
think the answer is a resounding no.
Yeah, yes, healthcare has its issues here, but it's free. There's a compassion here, and it's encoded in our DNA. We have gun control. Is that what Leary wants? No gun control? And we have this quiet sensibility of community. And it's a vast, the second greatest national landmass on earth, which I've traveled from coast to coast these last 30 years. And never once have I had issues with performance and with the audience. There's a unique sense of nation here, and it founded itself without civil war, without a revolutionary war, without conflict. And it had a sensibility that survived despite itself. It's remarkable. It's such a cool little place. One of the things that's occurred, of course, since the POTUS you have declared the tariff war and wanted to make us the 51st state, is that more than 7% of Americans can now find us on a map, because that was an issue with us for the longest time. They knew we were here, but they weren't quite sure who we were, and we knew who they were, because it was, I mean, we've lived beneath the shadow of Lady Liberty, and you were the land of cool stuff, man. And so you had this, there was this, you personified possibility. You knew by watching and listening, and perhaps a sense of indoctrination, I guess, with American films, but that there was a trajectory, that opportunity was there, that dreams could be made manifest. And I remember once, I used to go camping with my family when I was a youngster, and we were camping in a trailer, canvas trailer, that you weren't allowed to touch the canvas walls of when it was raining or it would leak. Right. Americans pulled into the campground in that summer in 1969, driving a 60-foot chrome-plated, hermetically sealed, airstreamed living unit. I remember looking at them and going, "Oh my God, it's the Jetsons." You knew how to make an appearance. There was this magnanimous hospitality toward your nature, which is one of the things that we're finding difficult to process now, because it's a neighbor we once knew, and new people have moved into the house, and they're a piece of work. We don't understand them.
And so the view from here is a reflection of the United States being essentially now fully unrecognizable, whereas the 2016 stand-up that we showed was heading in that direction. Now, as you reflect on your neighbor to the south, the view from up here is, this isn't the America that I grew up with, and this is an America, as Prime Minister Carney said, in Asia, we've moved on. We understand that they'll be there. The United States is physically there, and there's going to have to be a relationship because there is some, there's mutual benefits. But, you have Prime Minister Carney saying, we're looking to China now. I mean, we're Canada potentially taking off the 100% tariff on EVs. You may be getting the BYD cars. The fact that that's saying, look, China's a more reliable partner than America is a pretty big deal for a kind of very sober, even-keeled person like a Carney to say. So just tell us before we go as well, reflections on the view from here. I don't want you to give away your whole show, but the show's November 28th.
27th and 28th. I'm streaming it on the 28th. And so please, my American friends, tune in. But I wanted to jump in here just for a sec. I mean, it's not all Americans. I mean, that great rebel voice of America is alive and well. I mean, these brave people standing up to ICE in the streets. That's the galvanizing soul of the America I knew as a kid. It's the genesis of rock and roll. It's where the great comedic rebel voices came from, like Lenny and Carlin. It gave birth to democracy. I mean, and this is what's so heartbreaking, is that 250 years ago, America toppled the tyranny of a king when democracy was born, only to abort it 250 years later when they kissed the ring of a dictator. And it's something we're trying to process. But I think that all Canadians I know, our hearts and our elbows are absolutely up with those American citizens who are fighting the Praetorian Guard of Trump with ICE in the streets and arresting the innocents and the absolute destruction of democratic institutions. Those are the people who are going to save it. It's like Chris Hedges says, it has to be brought to the streets. It has to be civil unrest that's driven by the people themselves who actually created the country in the first place.
It's great to have you on, Ron. We've played your clips before. Our audience probably remember some of the stand-up clips we've played. But
Thank
everybody,
you.
stream Ron James, his award-winning comedian, The View from Here. It streams November 28th, 2025. We'll have a link below as well for people to find out, again, where they can go. But it's great to have you on, Ron.
Thanks. I'm honored to be on. Full steam ahead.
Full steam ahead, elbows up. Ron James, everybody.
Right on, brother.
Everybody hit subscribe and let's get to 6 million subscribers.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.